Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about David and Bathsheba, the story, and it's in 2 Samuel chapter 11 and in chapter 12 too. I'm going to read this to you and just have a little chat with you on the subject. All right, I'll begin right here. And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Job and his servants with him to all Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. And but David tarried still in Jerusalem. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, "Is this not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanliness, and she returned unto her house. So David, he just, the carnal inflammations, I guess, got the better of him then. He, kind of lost, touch with Yahweh and wanted something for himself, I guess. But he went and got her, did what he did, and took her back. Had the servants take her back to the house. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, "I am with child." And David sent to Job, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Job sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Job did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to thy house and wash thy feet." And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his sovereign, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, "Uriah went not down unto his house," David said unto Uriah, "Camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house?" And Uriah said unto David, "The ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my sovereign Job and the servants of thy sovereign are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go in my house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife, as thou livest, and as thy soul liveth? I will not do this thing." And David said unto Uriah, "Tarry here today also, and to tomorrow I will let thee depart." So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even time he went out to lie on his bed, and the servants of his sovereign, but went not down to his own house. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Job, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, "Set thee, Uriah, in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire you from him, that he may be smitten and die." See, what happened was, David just knocked up somebody else's wife, and he's trying to get the husband to go home, and most likely nature would take its course, and Uriah would, have intercourse with her, and then, could pass it off as his kid. David was trying to cover his wrongdoing up, but Uriah was a faithful servant, and he wanted to do the duty to the king. So what happened? He conspired to have Uriah die in battle. That was the other option. So it wasn't just adultery that David was guilty of. It was also, killing, killing his faithful servant. And it came to pass when Job observed the city, that he assigned Uriah in a place where he knew the valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Job, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Job sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, When thou hast made an end of telling the matters of the war unto the king, and if so, be that the king's wrath arise, and he say unto thee, Wherefore approached you so near unto the city where, when you did fight, knew you not that they would shoot from the wall? Who smote Abimelech, the son of Jerubbeth? Did not a woman cast a piece of millstone upon him from the wall, that he died in Thebes? Why went you near the wall? Then say, Thou servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messenger went and came and showed David all that Job had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, Surely the men prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field, and we were upon them even unto the entering of the gate. And the shooters shot from off the wall upon the servants, and some of the king's servants be dead. And thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said unto the messenger, Thus shalt thou say unto Job, Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the mourning was past, David sent and fetched for her to his house, and she became his wife, and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased Yahweh. Yep, displeased him. That was totally uncharacteristic of a righteous king. Well, like I said before, don't ever underestimate the carnal lust, that could drive you, bonkers a little bit, and you start thinking with your wrong head. Now we'll go to chapter 12 here. And Yahweh sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, There were 2 men in one city, the one man rich, the other man poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat and drink of his own cup, and lay in the bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd to dress for the wayfaring men that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come unto him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said unto Nathan, As Yahweh liveth, that man that hath done this thing shall surely die. And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan the prophet said unto David, Thou art the man. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee master's house and thy master's wives unto thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and the house of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given it unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandments of Yahweh, to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith Yahweh, Behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house, and I will take thy wives before thy eyes, and give them to thy neighbors, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yahweh. And Nathan said unto David, Yahweh also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of Yahweh to blaspheme, the children also that is born unto thee shalt surely die. And Nathan departed into his house, and Yahweh struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. David therefore besought Elohim for the child's sake. David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. And the elders of the house arose and went to him to raise him up from the face of the earth, but he would not, neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the 7th day that the child passed away, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was gone. For they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? When David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of Yahweh and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then said the servants unto him, What thing is this that hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while he was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. And he said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who can tell whether Yahweh will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. And David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went in unto her, and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he was called by the name of Solomon, and Yahweh loved him. And he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and called his name Yedidiah, because of Yahweh. And Job fought against Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and took the royal city. And Job sent messengers to David and said, I have fought against Rabbah, and have taken the city of waters. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people together and went to the Rabbah and fought against it and took it. And he took the king's crown from off his head, and the weight whereof was talent of gold with the precious stones, and it was set on David's head, and he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. And he brought forth the people that were thereon, and put them under the saws, and under harrows of iron, and under axes of iron, and made them pass through the bricklin, and thus did he unto all the cities of the children of Ammon. So David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. So, and if you go to chapter 13 and on, part of the curse, that Yahweh declared unto David was to be fulfilled, about all the turmoil with his kids, Absalom, his rebellion, Tamar being raped by her half brother, which was Solomon's son with another wife. And anyways, that was the sin. And people usually call her Bathsheba, but it's really, her name was Bathsheba. Bat means daughter in Hebrew, Bathsheba. But my thoughts on that is, it's kind of interesting, that Uriah and Bathsheba lived close to the palace where David was, Well, but then again, being a soldier, he had to. But the thing that strikes me is, I mean, it's not in the Bible, it's speculation. It's just something to have a conversation about. Is did Bathsheba have the designs on King David? I mean, he went out and saw her bathing. I don't know if he looked through a bathroom or if she was just outside in her front yard doing this stuff. I mean, did she want to get David's attention? I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, but she had ambitions about Solomon being king, and when David was old, she lobbied and urged David to make Solomon king. But that's just a thought. I mean, what was her designs? Was she innocent in it? And if she was guilt, she had her part of the guilt in the adultery. I don't know about the murder; it didn't say, but she, if she was guilty, why didn't Yahweh, give her a more severe punishment like David? David, they both lost their kid. Don't get me wrong there, but David also, was cursed with the turmoil of family, from his other wives, from his children and everything. Well, the Bible doesn't say anything other than, Bathsheba just, along with David, just lost their firstborn. But anyways, that's all I want to say. I just want to share that with you, Despite this, Yahweh forgave King David, and, like Yahweh said, he's like a man after my own heart. And we all mess up from time to time, but David really had a repentive heart. He had repented and said, "Hey, I did do wrong," and it was thankfully for Nathan the prophet, to steer him on the right path and everything. But that's all I want to say about that. And thank you for watching this video, and please hit that notification bell, 'cause I'll have some more content coming out whenever. And subscribe and watch my other shows, my videos, and like them, like this, and comment below. I love to hear from you what you think about this biblical story. And that's all I really want to say. And until we meet again, thank you, peace out, and shalom.